Welcome, welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program this morning. Studio Galaxy 473 in Conifer. This morning, we have the agriculture program starting first. And remember, as soon as we start that program, you can participate. The number to call is 536-2558. We encourage you to subscribe. We are the new kid on the block. So we need a like. Give us some promotion. Subscribe. Like the program. Share the program. And participate. The topic we have this morning is young people. You could make money in agriculture. Young people in Grenada. You could make money in agriculture. We want you to start to believe that. Research. Listen to that view. And stop believing that agriculture is dirty and you can't make money. This morning we're going to discuss the issue. We're going to make suggestions. And we dare you, take us on. We are telling you this morning that you could make money in agriculture. And with me this morning is no other person than Joshua. Remember the role of Joshua in God's time. Well, this Joshua have a particular role in agriculture. And he come from a community where he had some big watch from agriculture. Joshua.
Good morning to everybody in the diaspora, at home, worldwide. It's very nice to be here this morning, especially to talk about young people in agriculture and making money. As per usual, we've been in a world for a little while now, since January, that's little destabilized, unbalanced. People are not sure what's going on in the world. Their center of gravity, has been disturbed. But nevertheless, we still have to eat and drink every day. So agriculture is in our blood, and we want it to be in our young people's blood.
Yes, it's a land of opportunities. Anytime you hear you have trouble in the world, you could make money. Anytime you hear a disaster pass, you could make money. During COVID-19, one among the people get rich. A lot dead, but others get rich. It all depends on whether you put your hand on your head as if your mother dead and you're crying, or if you're looking for opportunities. Grenada is a paradise for opportunities.
Yeah, and Paradise is just up the road from Grenville. So if any of you have never been to Paradise, you have a chance. Just up the road from Grenville.
And if you come out in Paradise and you don't make it to heaven, don't worry. You're in Paradise. Because if you reach in Paradise, you don't want to go in there again.
No.
Like in purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me get serious this morning.
You wasn't serious yet?
No.
Young people, you could make money in agriculture.
Yeah, so let me get serious, young people, in terms of making money in agriculture. Like everything else, the opportunities are there, sometimes right in front of our eyes. We don't see it. We see all the obstacles. We don't see the opportunities. And in terms of the older gray heads and government and all the rest of it, the job that we have really is to create the environment to make it easier for you to make money in agriculture. Now, I can tell you as a person who really know very little in terms of the practical agriculture, but Mr. Pierre told me I'm nonetheless a farmer. And I have made money in agriculture. So if I can make money with my advancing age and gray hair, there's no reason why young people with their smartness and their young brain can't make money. But let me try and create the framework for young people, because I see a lot of opportunities for young people. One of the first things that we have to do as a society, usually when we say we have to do, we're talking about the government has to do it. We have to create the institution between tourism and agriculture. And this is why we have to do it. 85% of the profit in agriculture leaves our island. We get a little bit back in terms of the wages that they pay the staff, but wages tend to be low, and the serious money makers in tourism tends to be the senior managers who tend to be from abroad. There is some exceptions in some of the hotels, but on the main, it tends to be professionals from abroad. The kind of cleaning the room and making the beds and cooking and assisting the chef, etc. Doing the garden and all those things tend to be ours, and wages tend to be probably about 1,000, 1,200 a month. So it's just enough to pay Nawasa and Grenlec and pay the busman and probably buy a little food. So we're not really advancing because the system in terms of tourism really is just another form of we've moved from the so-called extraction economy to something that's more acceptable. So we've moved from extraction, slavery, etc., and now we have tourism. We're told that tourism is the way forward for us. But nonetheless, you see lots of tourists. I think sometimes I've seen figures like 400,000 overnight tourists or tourists coming on the boats, etc. Now, what we have to do as a society, and it's critical, we have to make sure when these tourists come that more of the dollar stays on the island, more of our people, young people included, flower people included, they have a higher spend from the tourists. So the World Bank has preached to us in terms of the IMF mission that we have to link tourism to agriculture. And what they were saying is that if we had the institution that existed between the hotels or the tourism industry and the agricultural organizers, we can have a coordinated approach to making money, especially for our young people. So let me give you an example of what we can do, a simple example. Say, take plantain, for example. And yesterday I was so pleased with plantain because I bought a bottle of plantain wine. I've yet to open it to taste it, but I thought, wow, plantain wine being made in Grenada. And the address was Telescope. I was very, very pleased. So plantain, for example, if we decided that, the hotel needed like 10 tons of plantain a week, and we could say, okay, we want to support 20 farmers to grow this plantain. Some have land, some don't have land, some have irrigation, some don't. So we'll give them all the necessary support that they need so that they can grow plantain, because what they now know is that they have a guaranteed market for their product. So once their product is grown, it goes directly back to the hotel because the hotel will have a pre-order in terms of that. Now, the amount of secondary products that they can make with plantain, I just mentioned plantain wine, there's the whole plantain chips, and the Spanish do a lot of stuff with plantain that I've had, but I don't remember the names. All sorts of stuff they make with plantain. So we could have a whole industry in terms of plantain, not just growing, but the secondary processing of plantain. And generally the money from agriculture comes from the secondary processing. So, I think plantain on average now is selling about $3 or $4 a pound. Now, the hard work really is the planting of the plantain, and then after that, the maintenance is not too bad. So that's a very profitable area for young people. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Josh, lettuce, let them go in lettuce and hydroponics and those things." And those things are very profitable as well. And it's suited to young people because of the technology that's included in terms of the hydroponic, etc. So those are just examples of how young people can make money in terms of agriculture. The whole, what we call the cash crop, as a whole, that is there. We could never have enough, and we always seem to be, especially with tomatoes. Sometimes tomatoes are about like $3, $2 a pound. Other times it's like $10 a pound. So it depends on supply and demand. But there's no reason if we're using the greenhouses, shade houses, etc., if we coordinated with the hotel and we have data on the island need, that we can't plan for year-round profitability. You know, most of the young people that are in agriculture in China, they tend to become millionaires very, very quickly. The European countries as well. Usually it's the people who are into agriculture, farming, etc., who have that kind of wealth and generation wealth, driving the big pickups and the Range Rover,
We have a
etc.
caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Mm.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good morning. Well, thank you for the Saturday because I'm not around on Sunday. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Oi. Oi, oi. Mhm. 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 Yeah, yeah. Mhm. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Can't push the farmer. The farmer will not put on a dirty water boots as in the past stink water boots to go up the mountain 3 miles.
mhm.
And then to put
Mhm.
some nutmeg on his head or banana on his head to come down. The farmer want the road right onto his field
Mhm.
because you're farming now for the market.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So those are the things we have to give the farmer. We are afraid to spend the money because one of the ministers said, well, we're not going to do concrete, we're going to do binders. I know about binders. Binders don't once it's trampled with the wheels.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and after
yeah,
neglected for 6 months, the grass start to grow back. So
yeah,
you can't give the farmer wants his progress.
yeah.
So the farmer must move.
Yeah, let me add something to what you're saying because Mr. Pierre is sitting next to me. Um, where Mr. Pierre farm a little bit and where I farm a lot, we have the binders, so we know fully what happened to the binders. We have rivers going through the binders every time it rains heavy.
Of course,
The other thing I want to agree with you about and encourage policymakers to understand is it's not the amount of tourists that comes through, it's the amount of money that they spend on island
please.
that really matters. And one of the things that has grieved me over the most recent years is that when I looked at the terminal and we win this Chelsea flower show every year, and there's nobody selling flowers, fresh flowers to the tourists to take back on the boat. So, that alone will be about, $20 if we were able to spend or get the tourists to spend the money. So I just wanted to add or agree with you in terms of what you were saying.
Yes, but you see, again, flowers. I used to go flower too, for
Hmm.
just for home, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
Well,
you see,
you're a
what you're
good
saying
man.
there, which is a market. There is a market for flower. But if you're going to gravitate to because once one person enter a field and is profitable, the next one going to follow.
Yeah. But
So you have to cater now for the numbers.
yeah, yeah.
The population is too small, and that's why I'm saying mass tourism.
Mhm.
Right? to,
Yeah.
the agriculture, the farmers can feed the tourists. We're not supposed to export. We're eating 15 million pounds of banana. We were. We don't have that to eat now.
Yeah.
15 million pounds of banana, 15 million pounds of chicken. We're eating that more now. Yeah?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
just imagine we could get the tourists to come in and eat 15 million pounds of tourists, and we eating 15 million pounds. That is
Yeah.
30, that is 30 million pounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you could get them to eat 75 or 80 or 90 million pounds of
Yeah.
chicken,
Mhm.
yeah? You
Yeah.
understand where we are?
Yeah. Good
They don't have to
numbers.
come here overnight. So we
Yeah.
have to think in that area because
Yeah.
bottom line, you have to keep the farmers in the field
Uh-huh.
via the returns that he gets. And
Mhm.
if the farmer is not going to get an adequate return, he's not going to, because I am not going to go back in the field. I'm
Mhm.
telling you this. I was in the field. I'm not going to go back there because of these reasons.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of farmers thinking like me. So we have to stimulate the farmers now by new strategies.
Mhm.
Strategy one, bring the roads right under the field, the water, electricity up the mountain slope. Let the farmer build on his
Mhm.
farm on his farm, and protect his farm.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
could open a restaurant on his farm in the mountain.
Mhm.
What's wrong about that?
No,
He
nothing.
could use his banana field or his nutmeg field, his cocoa field as beauty, as beautification for his field. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you something: a mountain restaurant is going to do much better than the restaurant down here.
Mhm. Yeah. We have to
Yeah?
get them up to the mountains, though.
So we have to change our strategy
Mhm.
if we want to survive. Other than that, I am telling you something. We're going to get to a point where the cost is going to rise so high that people will not be able to buy. We're right on that.
Mhm.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you for your
Yes,
contribution.
we have a number of young people, and we always have to remember a farmer is not necessarily the agriculture worker.
Mhm.
So every time you speak about farming, people believe the farmer is the man who can work on the land.
Mhm.
He may be an agriculture worker and he may be a farmer. But you have young people, their parents have land because Grenada have the most land owners in the region. We're very fortunate. Small plots of land, 5 acres and under. These people are not working in the land. They live and go and do security in St. George's. But let it break it down. They're paying you $110 a day to do security in St. George's for 12 hours.
Whoa.
Let us say you take 1 hour from the time you wake up and bathe and prepare and transport to go in town, and 1 hour to come back. So you're practically 14 hours involved in security. You go down in that security and you stand up one place. You don't have a gun. All movie I watch, they kill the security. That is the most lazy job I come across. Now, this individual paying about $400 for bus. Some live working in Lansapine and Granans, but on the average, $400 a bus. So you're working for $110 for 12 hours. The farmer is paying $60 for 3 and 4 hours work. I said to a young man, your woman must hang you. That's the best thing that could happen to you. Every night you're there working in town. Holiday you're in town. Entertainment time you're working in town. Your woman must hang you. Why don't you work the land that your parents have? You have access to the land. You don't have to plant cocoa and nutmeg. If you plant cocoa, cocoa is generally an estate crop. So if you have small portion of land, maybe you plant 2 or 3 cocoa trees if you want to make chocolate for yourself.
Yeah.
You could plant seasoning. The seasoning market in Grenada, millions of dollars.
It's very big.
Millions of dollars. The average house in Grenada consume about $10 worth of seasoning for the week. What happened if a farmer get his son, who is in Form 1, to provide the seasoning that his mother buy in the market and pay him $10 a week? After 52 weeks in the year, that is $520. And if you do that by 6 or 7 years, this individual have a source of income. That money is a source of income. We have to think. You have vegetable farmers, and a lot of the vegetable farmers, remember, farmers is not agriculture workers. Some people work on the farm, but I'm speaking about the farmers. They do very well in vegetable production. You see them buy a vehicle. You see they build a house. It's quite true. Some of them very careless. They don't pay NIS. They don't go in savings. And they spend money rather than invest money. You see, we need a mentality shake-up. And it doesn't appear that it's people teaching agriculture in school doing that. Money should be invested. Too much people want to spend money. You must invest money. So if the vegetable production could do well, people want tomatoes. Tomatoes all will do well on the market. You have to be a good farmer to grow tomatoes all year round. But the farmers that do it do well.
Yeah, very well.
Is lemon, melon?
Melon, yeah.
Melon is another crop that does well. And it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And the farmers smiling. Sometimes they make a crop, they make 20,000. You could hardly ever get seasoned pepper on the market. The price of it now is perhaps over $10 for a pound.
Yeah. And seasoning pepper has reached this stage now where we need to be looking at secondary processing, similar to how we do hot pepper. I think people should think more about secondary processing the seasoning pepper so you could have it in your fridge, etc., last longer. And I know there's a demand for it, especially in Brooklyn, where people go
Well,
back.
in Grenada, yeah, we import millions of dollars in seasoning. And everybody food tastes the same thing. Long ago when you take food, Miss LV food tastes different from Miss Betty food. Mala, everybody using the same seasoning that come out in OEO.
Yeah,
Because we lose our local touch to it.
yeah.
So if the farmer has a 5 acres of land, and the farmer might be advanced in age, most farmers are advanced in age. If the children learn that you could make money from the land,
Yeah.
you don't have to go and interfere with what the parents is doing.
Yeah,
But what's about seasoning?
yeah.
What's about scythe? What's about thyme? What's about corn? Fishermen does well.
Yeah, and there is support now from TAMCC in terms of small little courses.
I don't even go in there, you know.
Yeah, no,
Because-
if they wanted to.
Because you see, Grenadian is the biggest. They own the most amount of land in the Caribbean. So the average child in school, the parents have a little bit of land. They're not living in. I know this government say they building Grenadian style house. I know they have to lend some land in Ghana. When Jack Day was begging the Caribbean to buy land, Grenada don't buy. But everybody wanted. So we have land. Though albeit the land is small. Rabbit. The protein content in rabbit is good. It's a good source of protein. Rabbit multiply fast. It
Yeah.
is practically a reflex breeder. So if the rabbit drop today, the next 5-10 days you could breed it again.
Woo.
Do good, you could multiply fast in rabbit.
Yeah.
So a home could have enough rabbit to supply themselves and their neighbors.
Yeah.
And that is an income base for our children.
Yeah.
Our young people have to invest money. And the people who teach in agriculture and economics and principles of business and all these subjects associated with money, they do good. You have to let people change their mentality.
Yeah.
So they learn to invest money rather than spend money.
Yeah. Whilst you were talking, Mr. Pierre, something was coming to my mind, and that was how do we, give the publicity so that young people have the information in terms of how profitable certain areas are? Because I think if young people could see that, that might be a help. I come from the print industry where newspaper and all the rest of it, but now I know everybody talk about new media.
You flaunt success.
Yeah.
When the farmer walk in the shop and the farmer that come,
Yeah.
the farmer don't jig. We have too much of a farmer pretending they don't make money.
Yeah.
When you walk in the bank with your water boots, you know this is Mr. Farmer that rich. You flaunt success.
Yeah.
If your wife don't want to walk, don't want to drive on your old vehicle that you have, bring the kept missing. Leave her home. You flaunt success. Simple like that.
Yeah.
You had in the videos, I listened to a farmer said, how they say farming don't making money, and I have 15 working vehicles in my yard, and I don't own nobody in Grenada. He's shocked. You had people from Hermitage, Burggrove, Parklet, Munich, LA Postle and the whole group of them. They were the dons. These people were farmers. Most of the people who opened stores was farmers that opened for the wife.
Yeah, and
The wife well occupied in the store. She don't know what they're doing up in the mountain.
Yeah, and the academic background wasn't any big academic
The boy
background.
hardly could read and write. They send the children in school because these farmers say we must control the factors of production. We have capital, which is land. We have labor, but we don't have initiative. So they send their sons and daughters to go to university to get initiative. When the son and daughter come back, they start to show off on the village. They go in St. George's and build houses in the higher part of the country. They buy cars. They made hardly any children. If they make 1 or 2 children, 1.5, some of the children don't make no sense. They came with the initiative from university. Some of them become commission agents for the multinational corporation. They did not come back and promote the farmer. Go and listen to all the surnames in this country that was doctors and lawyers and top quality. Their parents was farmers. And that's where it went. So they shun farming because they become commission agents for the multinational corporation. So obviously, a medical doctor, if he is a good medical doctor, may not have the time to visit his land as he wants. And nothing is wrong with that. But you don't shun the farming. We start to call the farmer dirty and say the farmer come in town with the water boots. And you want the farmer to buy clocks on all sort of issue. And the farmer got so intimidated and insulted. And the farmer's children start to hate the farmer. In Grenada here, go around and watch all the stores in Grenville and St. Patrick's. And tell me how much children, Grenadian children, you see in parents' business. Some of the children travel. Some of the children don't want to identify with the farmers. Some of them living in the house, they don't pay no rent. But they're playing down. You have people who have land in Grenada. Their children is working in St. George's for $3,000. Anytime you income in Grenada is $3,000 or less, you poor, you're vulnerable, you need help. Their income is seriously subsidized by the parents. And the parents are landowners. So we have to zero in and tell the gentleman, if you go in beekeeping, there must be a period of time when you break even. Ask Kenny Lalsin. Ask any businessman. Kenny name easy to come in memo. Ask any businessman. You invest $20,000, it will take a time before you start to make profit. And if you have to depend on the income from the business, it might even take longer before you expand. But because Grenada have a lot of landowners, a lot of young people don't have to buy the land. If you go in beekeeping, there is a business in honey. Your wife could say she don't like bees too much. So a honey too sweet, she don't like it so much. She could deal with pollen. 1 pound of pollen in Grenada is about $40. Your daughter might say she gonna deal with wax. A pound of wax in Grenada is about $15. And you cannot supply wax. Your son that bright, you have plenty certificate. He might want to deal with bee venom. Another child, well, you kept miss. You have to kind of, your kept miss might want to make beekeeping clothes. So from this one industry, this one agriculture business, beekeeping, a number of members of the family could have income from it.
And it's profitable. And what Mr.
Why do you think that beekeepers so quiet in Grenada?
What Mr.
Beekeepers hardly want to talk to you. They're quiet.
What Mr.
Because they're doing well. They don't want to share no information. They like old-time tailors, they cut the suit in the night.
Yeah, and
They're making money.
yeah, what Mr. Pierre was saying is that all this kind of social inhibitors that we've created to stop people from
Mental confusion.
doing farming, not to listen to it because farming has money in it. Farming is
You could
profitable.
make money in farming.
Yeah, and there's a difference between a farm worker and a farmer as well, and we
And even with the farm worker, a farm worker have more latitude to make money than a security guard. A farm worker have more latitude to make money than somebody in a restaurant, etc.
yeah.
Because the farm worker, because he's on the farm, when he finish doing work, he might go and fish.
Yeah.
He work for 4 or 5 hours with the farmer, and he might decide to go and fish.
Yeah,
$25 for a pound of crayfish.
Yeah.
He might decide to go and hold a manico.
Or go and see his sea moss.
So now he decided to go and play with the wife. He had time. So he go home now and he have time to hug up his wife and play with the wife. You that come out in St. George's in security in the night,
You're too tired.
and then your wife suspicious of you because you're there so long away. She believe you're honey now.
Yeah, but Mr.
So confusion when you come home.
Mr. Pierre, you just encourage that because I hear you say on this show already, if you have to travel every day with the bus, get a boyfriend in town. So you...
Well, let's be realistic. Why you think all Dabo and all of them developed in the early 60s when we had Expo 69? A lot of people left the country to go and get involved in this project. Well, how they go come back? You number of men and women migrate to the tongue. When they gonna come back?
Yeah.
Even though you leave a boyfriend up there, by the time you come back, you get old. But we have to have it in our children's head. Look at flowers. And I don't know why we don't push flowers. Because everybody likes flowers. We have to try to get women to want the man to give them flowers as a gift.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. Because most time, women don't want flowers. They want clothes. All Valentine, I ain't seen no women with flowers.
Mr. Pierre is the phone or the nails or the hair.
So that is where institution come in. Take, for instance, if the Ministry of Agriculture decide to budget $3,000 per annum, and they buy flowers, and the males in the ministry have to get a female name. And you get volunteers to cooperate to give her a bouquet of flowers. And you encourage the woman to walk out with the flowers and do as if she like it. Yes, it's a pilot project.
Yeah, PR.
A pilot. It's a PR stunt. So the woman got the flowers, maybe not even from Shimon, because they just do a random in the ministry. After 3-4 years, women go want flowers.
Yes. You shape the behavior.
Of course. You are one among us social scientists. I tell you, they're like commission agent for the multinational corporation. Only speaking English and they're not practical. So automatically, remember the people who go dealing with funerals. There is a market for flowers.
Big time.
You go to, you cry, you give them a flowers, you never bother with them again. Your wife likes you so much, she give a big bouquet of flowers. You say, stay in the cemetery there. Next time, if she is a Catholic, she come back and put a candle. Otherwise, that is the end of the story. But now the environmentalists object to plastic flowers. So we go have more natural flowers. We go and win the Chelsea Flowers Show year after year. The people with the orchids, they're doing very well. But still, it is not practicalized. It is not filtered down in the system.
Yeah.
And one of the initiatives the ministry have to do, it's not expensive. You could give NDC a loan if you want. You don't have no problem with it. But within the you see he's NDC there now. If you don't want to give NP flowers, don't bother with that. But at least bringing the initiative in agriculture. Next year, health could do that. Health could also have the initiative, but agriculture started and they budget for it. This would help the harmony, the rhythm, the love, the genuineness. Because the woman who give her this nice bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, and that is so important because sometimes I think we have this thing that is learn helplessness. And one of the things that we keep doing on this program is saying, you know, we have to help ourselves. We have to solve our problems. And it's really important and it resonates with me. I was listening attentively to Mr. Pierre. I don't always, but...
You know, easy to lose. Sometimes I don't even want to hear Francis Pierre, but listen.
You know, but we can do something about our situation. We're not helpless.
We have CMOS.
Things.
Stop waiting on people to come and help you. We have CMOS. It's not expensive to invest in CMOS, you know. Just train people in CMOS. You have school doing agriculture. This agriculture program is a joke, you know. Fellas go in university, they come back with all kind of masters, BA, BGAS, PhD in agriculture. They can't swim, you know. They can't hold a fish. They don't know the difference between a hook and a... Well, how you could have all this degree in agriculture and you don't know nothing about fishing? I tell a guy give me so much... The man, when I hear the man flaunt his certificate in agriculture, I started to talk about fishing, the man don't know nothing, you know. I go in beekeeping, the man don't know nothing about that.
The man like biology.
I start to talk about crab. When I start to speak about crab farming, he asked me if I'm mad, you know. The man have one among that degree in agriculture. So it is as if these people are agents for the people who are against us. It can't be.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I haven't really...
What's about aphrodisiac?
Well, no, you're kind of making the program...
You have Bobandy. You have other roots they say that helping blood to flow in men.
Chocolate.
And it make people more romantic. And the women don't complaining that this man and them, they rough, they coarse, they don't have no love, they're drinking so much of rum.
They don't have finesse.
They don't have no finesse. I say maybe they want a little aphrodisiac. Blood refused to flow. So the farmer now could sit down and determine, particularly these individuals who go to school and have education. They say, okay, I go deal with aphrodisiacs.
Yeah. But Mr. Pierre, we have something real special with this Bob and Day thing, and we've not made use of it, you know.
Man, some man, when they drink it twice, they put so much rum in it, water to go up, go down. They said that don't go. The man said, they didn't tell you this thing go work one day. They want it work now, you know. And when they don't find you working, they drink one among the rum. Yeah. So what had to go up, go down.
Yeah. I remember Gary's daughter boyfriend was trying to do a business in that.
I like how you say that, your Gary daughter boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's the significance of Uncle Gary, you know. You only remember the daughter boyfriend because of Uncle Gary.
Yeah.
Uncle Gary said, the difficult things we do now, the impossible, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yes.
Don't tell me he can't work.
Yeah.
The difficult things we do now, the impossible, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. So thank you, Uncle Gary. We're working on it.
How do we use what we have to make money? Remember, the people like the Foresters, Franco, Tillman Thomas, L.A. Puzzle, and the other people in Grenada, I can't remember all the names, that were farmers. They hardly had a secondary school education.
Yeah.
And one of their dreams was to educate the children.
Yes.
So now we have children in secondary school. All the children want to do is to go to school, you know. When they come out in secondary school, they pay them for national college already, you know.
Yeah.
And you know you have to pay money to go in national college.
Yeah.
But the government said they lie. You have to pay money to go in national college.
Yeah.
They just say it was free, you know, they lie. But the children want to go to school all their life. Well, how you could go to school all your life? You finish secondary school, all of them going national college. When they call it national college, you want to go next year. The children have to understand you have to invest money and try to avoid spending money. Invest it. And you could make money from agriculture.
Yeah, and the mere fact that they live in the country to go down and they're doing seasoning, they bring seasoning with them every Friday.
They should be selling. They should be selling tat and chip and coconut water up in the school.
Yeah.
All the snacks they eating full of salt and pepper.
Yeah.
These snacks that they have, it worse than cigarette and coke. You don't see how them children getting wrong like you don't observe children in school. They look at us boiler fowl. They're getting wrong like something wrong with what we consume. I said to some farmers, even if you eating macaroni pie, don't go and buy it in restaurant. Ask for yam pie, or fig pie, or blocker pie. Don't. How you could have yam home, but you're going and buy macaroni pie. Let the people you're buying from get the yam pie.
Yeah, and we fall in a way.
So automatically we make a market.
Yeah, we fall in a way. We should be having these like yam pie festival, once or twice a year, and those little things. It doesn't cost much to do, but it needs the will to do it.
We need to change mentality.
Yeah, we need to that, and we need to stop waiting or looking for somebody to do it. And and we ourselves in the studio should commit to doing at least one or two things a year.
Well, I say to a guy, eat eggs. It's good for your health. It's good for your brain.
Yeah.
The guy doing one amount of stripping is I say, what happened to you? You're using obscenities in big people present, children present, women present. Oh man say, Mr. Pierre, brain do good. I say, let him eat more eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs good for your brain.
Yeah.
And if we consume more eggs, and we will produce more eggs.
Yes. And we could support like a national pancake day. I think they have international.
As soon as they say pancake, they don't take in no local thing to make pancake.
No?
They're importing everything.
Oh, Lord.
What else you could make with cake beside flour? Them? When Fabs Bonham had this doing what nationalize almost everything in Guyana. He said all flour in the country must be mixed with cassava flour. Right now, Guyanese boy don't even eating cassava again. They gone back to the flour.
They gone back to.
So we have to encourage young people. You could make money from agriculture. Big, hardback, strong security man. Leave your wife in the country. You go in town and do security for $110 for 12 hours work. When you getting 60 for 3-4 hours work, and you could go and fish, you could go and hunt, you could keep a cattle, you could have 2 sheep. Lord have mercy. Your wife must leave you.
Yeah.
All hour in the night you there in tongue, putting on belly because they stand up one place. And if bandit come, they go shoot you. You don't go on you. What kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah.
Our people have to be more productive.
Yeah.
And women, you must look for a man for potential. When you have a man on land and in farming, you could never hungry. You always have money. If he spends some money tonight, he go and pick up the nutmeg tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you vex, he go down the road, he pick up nutmeg, he come with the cocoa, he bring back. When you depend on a salary alone, what is in it?
Yeah.
So this is what killing our country. And then this government don't make much sense anyway.
Yeah.
They can't help.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could have facilitated the process and have some mental, because it's our mentality that have to change.
Yeah. Well, the mentality has drifted to kind of jumping on the bus, going to town and working in the hotel, and you know.
You want to make a bed in the hotel. Sometimes you have to lie down the bed to make up.
When you pay all your expensive, you're probably lucky if you're left with $600, for the month. And I think the mentality has gone wrong, and that drift towards town. We have to give people a better opportunity in the rural community.
You see,
and sometimes show them.
Our people believe. I think sometimes I wonder if people want to work for money as status.
Mm.
I work in St. George, I work at Hubbard's, I work at Coates, I work with the status. The fisherman making more money than you.
Yeah, for sure.
And the individuals who making more money begging those who making less money, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you giving the impression you're rich. You have a little car, you can't even put gas in it.
Yeah, I know how that feel, Mr. Pierre.
And the individuals who making more money than you, they don't care.
Yeah.
We have to, I sometimes I see some women and I feel sorry for them, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that we cannot do better. We could do better as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to let our children understand that they have to invest money. The children spending money as if the parents rich.
Yeah.
I always ask the question to children, your parents rich? And they putting their eyes up in the air, wondering, your parents poor? Most time they shake their head, the parents are poor.
Yeah.
Parents on seed programming.
Yeah.
We almost to the end of the program.
Yeah, so time is
Yes.
limited. Now, you know, young people and profitability in terms of agriculture. Obviously, I've been encouraged only a few days ago when I saw plantain wine. There are so many...
Doesn't make plantain rum now?
I don't know, but they make plantain wine.
You make some plantain rum.
Yeah.
You know you're going to sell.
Yeah.
You can't get much.
Yeah, but there's so many secondary processing opportunities around. And even if you don't succeed at first, you could try. The mangoes are there and the mangoes are falling again. I worked on the program to export mangoes, but it doesn't seem as though any mangoes are being really exported. But so there's so much opportunities. There's so much little thing to do whilst you're going to school and experiment and look at profitability. There's so much opportunity.
And that's what we do here. We provoke discussion.
Yeah,
you may find us sounding comical. We try to speak the truth in the most practical way.
Yeah, so
we provoke discussion. We want people to discuss the issue because we are convinced that young people could make money in agriculture.
Yeah.
Don't wait when arthritis take you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Whether it's livestock or cash crop, etc., there is profit in terms of agriculture and good profit as well.
We should have some crab farm.
Yeah.
We exporting crab to Trinidad.
Yeah.
And we cannot supply.
Yeah.
So why we don't have crab farm?
Yeah.
Manikou farm.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot in the land that we could benefit from. And we want to encourage young people. Use your head.
Yeah.
Otherwise you go dead.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion, and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental, and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we free.